Chapter 8. The Rights of Life and Personal Liberty. Section 1. These are such self-evident corollaries from our first principle as scarcely to need a separate statement. If every man has freedom to do all that he wills, provided he infringes not the equal freedom of any other man, it is manifest that he has a claim to his life. For without it he can do nothing that he has willed, and to his personal liberty. For the withdrawal of it partially, if not wholly, restrains him from the fulfilment of his will. It is just as clear, too, that each man is forbidden to deprive his fellow of life or liberty, inasmuch as he cannot do this without breaking the law, which, in asserting his freedom, declares that he shall not infringe the equal freedom of any other. For he who is killed or enslaved is obviously no longer equally free with his killer or enslaver. Section 2. It is unnecessary to commend these conclusions by any exposition of advantages. All spontaneously assent to them. There are but a few simple truths of which the moral sense gives a sufficiently clear perception without the aid of logic, and these are of the number. The time was, indeed, when the law of adaptation having as yet produced but little effect, the feelings that respond to these truths were comparatively undeveloped, and consequently produced no spontaneous recognition of them. And did we live in the old Assyrian days when a subject was the property of his king, were it our custom to chain a porter to his cell on one side of the door, opposite to the kennel of the house dog on the other, as in Athens and Rome, did we sacrifice men to the gods, or send our prisoners of war to be torn to pieces in an amphitheatre, it might be needful to enforce the doctrines here enunciated, by showing the expediency of acting upon them. But happily we live in better times, and may congratulate ourselves on having reached a phase of civilization in which the rights of life and personal liberty no longer require inculcating. Section 3. Into such questions as the punishment of death, the perpetual imprisonment of criminals, and the like, we cannot here enter. These implying, as they do, antecedent infractions of the law, and being as they are remedial measures for a diseased moral state, belong to what has been elsewhere termed therapeutical ethics, with which we have now nothing to do. End of chapters 7 and 8 of Social Statics by Herbert Spencer.